What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. And here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire? How are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Some pretty exciting basketball last night. Didn't watch it live. Caught it all up when I got home. One of those things, right? So I'm keeping track of the score. And at first, I didn't know if I was going to like this. I actually don't mind just kind of watching and scouting after the games happened.
Yeah,
But so I saw that the Sixers won. I said, oh, boy, let me see how they did this, right? And I went home and I watched that performance and I said, wow, we talked about it on the show that James Harden had carried an offense before,
yep.
right? And that if the rest of the team showed up and showed out, the Embiid sitting was not a death sentence for the Philadelphia 76ers. We both took 76ers plus 9.5.
Yep.
I didn't take the money line, though. I wish I did. Me and Tyler were
I
about to
did
do.
live. I did
Me and
live.
Tyler were about to do that because I'm big on superstar subtraction, and I really thought that if he doesn't come back, right, they're not going to win at all. But for these short stints, he can carry the team.
He
I'm
was
gonna.
happy. He was like, you could tell he was playing like he was just so thrilled to have that freedom again, man. Like he didn't have to check with Embiid because what whether people know it or not, James Harden is an extremely intelligent basketball player, man. And how I know that he's a true student of the game is from my years as a season ticket holder with the Rockets. I was at a lot of games there. Me and the guy shared tickets. Sometimes he went, sometimes I did. Sometimes we sold the tickets. But I seen more basketball than the average person. And if I didn't watch him in person, I watched him on TV. James came to play when he still had his knees and his legs every night. He wasn't one of those guys who took off because he enjoyed playing basketball every night that much. And he also said many times that if he hadn't made it as a pro, he would have been a coach. So he has an extremely high IQ. Him, LeBron, Steph, those guys' IQ is what makes them different than KD and Giannis, who are just pretty much, hired guns. They're hired assassins. They're terrorists. Jimmy Butler's getting up there with his IQ in the same manner, where everything is moving slow for those guys. So Harden was just able to channel back to his old days, where now I don't have to, slow it down. I want to check with Embiid first every night because why wouldn't I? He's the best player on my team. I'm not the best player anymore on his team, so he's wise enough and has high enough IQ to know that it's a mismatch every night when you got a guy 7'2" and can do what he can do on the offense. And speaking of Embiid, so Harden, it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, hey, I remember how to do this. It's kind of like when you ride a bike once. After you get it down, you can 20 years later you can still get back on there and ride it. And so I was really happy about that. Now I'm gonna tell you another thing that I believe really had Harden motivated as well. He's been floating around the internet because everybody was trying to say he went to Vegas. And he was really here during the fight weekend, like everybody was, because they was off. They had already, took care of their business. He came down for the fight weekend, and behind Dre's at Cromwell, gave someone a little love tap, a little light slap. Did you see that video? Have you seen it?
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
It's not anything. James Harden is the most non-violent guy in the world, so it was even this little slap wasn't even, it wasn't any viciousness behind it. Whatever happened, he gives a guy a little love tap, and people were saying, "Oh, he's in Vegas, he's just partying," and they were just plotting on this downfall for this game without Embiid. And I think that this was one of those moments that he really got a chance to put it back in their face, like, "Hey, man, I'm putting in the work. I'm still an MVP. I'm still a multiple-time All-Pro, first-team All-Pro. I'm still the guy who holds several records in the NBA history book, and we all can agree today that if James Harden retired today, he'd be a Hall of Famer, first ballot. And Harden's the only player in the whole NBA, including LeBron, that's an active player with a retired jersey. As you know, his jersey's retired in Houston at the Toyota Center. That was during the first game that he came back because that's the type of respect the organization had for him. So I was glad that James was able to shut up a lot of the haters. I'm a fan of him. It's just because I respected his work. I watched him every night give his all and give his body for that team and carry the whole load, even when a lot of times it wasn't the right type of guys around him and being able to win. So I knew that he was going to have a good chance. We both did because you have the same respect for his offensive wizardry. So we both were on the right side of that, and he has a nice nucleus, and I'm looking really good about what I told you, man. I have a feel for these things spread. The Sixers are looking good. I think the Sixers can win the East this year.
Yeah, and that is to be seen. Of course, all flawed teams remaining, but I don't want to give up on the Boston Celtics because they lost one
I
game.
gave up on the
Um,
Celtics. I gave up on the Celtics. I'm through with the Celtics. I don't care if they win the next game by 40. They're not
it's
going to
so
win the
funny.
championship.
You and Ski were so high on them last year, and I wanted
Last
them last
year,
year, and
every
now I
year is
believe in them,
different.
and no one does.
No, man,
Um,
it's too much turmoil that's been boiling in that locker room for many years between Jaylen Brown and Tatum. They pretend to like each other. They don't like each other, man. They don't like each other at all. They don't. They're two different type cats, man. They don't like each other. And Jaylen Brown doesn't really care for the Boston atmosphere. Jaylen Brown's from Atlanta, which is a very strong black community, civil
you
rights
know
type
where he went
community.
to
He grew up,
school, right?
and then he went to Cal
Let's
after that. And you
go,
look,
Northern
and you know how
California.
Cal is. You're from there.
Yeah,
Cal is one of the most liberal,
liberal,
like
open-minded. Yeah,
antisocial programs you're gonna ever take on. So he doesn't like Boston, man, and everything that it represents by him putting on that jersey. What keeps him going with is trying to remember things and holding to him like Bill Russell and that they had, the first black coach, and ML Carr and guys like that who did a lot of things. A lot of black men who came through there, and Red Auerbach gave a lot of people chances with that organization. So I don't think it's more the organization. I think it's the city. You know how Boston is. Boston is one of those towns that's always going to be a place where, it's a little hinge of it, like the South. So something's going on with the locker room in that city as a whole that Jaylen Brown is unhappy with. And it didn't make sense that he had 20 in the first half on your on your great pick. We talk about a bad break, a bad beating, a bad handicap. That was definitely a bad break. That was a correct handicap. It's no way he should only shoot the ball with 3 times in the second half. What was it? Three? How many shots did he get? Like 5 shots second half. It was ridiculous.
Okay, well, all I want to say is it's not over yet. I'm not writing the Celtics obituary yet. So you know that I second game as well. I knew the result before I watched it. I get home, I make myself dinner. I'm going through Twitter, and I go, "Oh, we're doing this again, huh? We're writing a team off after they lose 2 games on the road. I think I just saw this in Golden State. Now, the Suns, to be fair, don't have that championship pedigree that the Warriors did, but Kevin Durant has won championships, and this team looks really good when it's on. We were opposite on the side last night. I'll be honest, I rewatched it. I was lucky to
Yeah.
get there. I didn't think I was getting there as I was checking the scores during the game. Nikola Jokic had a fantastic game. But all I want to say is, didn't we learn our lesson last round that when you have these all-time great players, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, you don't write them off for losing 2 road games? This series isn't over, folks. Congratulations to the Nuggets. It's going to look a lot different in Phoenix. That's all I have to say there. I was glad to get a little Nuggets home cooking there, but if you have people are rushing to cash their Nugget series bets. I'm saying not so fast, guys. This series is not over yet. What did you see in that game?
The 7 game series does not begin until a road team gets a victory. So all they did was just defend home,
Yeah,
as you said. But
wasn't
what
nothing.
troubles me is this. Don't get me wrong. They do have 2 of the greats. KD and Booker is that guy too, man. Booker is rising and he's respected amongst the league. He's one of those Kobe guys. He's one of the guys that came from under the Kobe wing that Kobe put a lot of time into and talked to a lot. And you see Kobe's fruits are still, bearing fruit today. Matter of fact, his daughter who passed with him, Gigi, her birthday was yesterday, so rest in peace to both of them. He's a legend, and his fruit is bearing through players like Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, and Devin Booker. The influence that he put through them by, unlike Jordan being the guy who really spent time and talked to these guys, and wasn't trying to act like he was bigger than the game with them. He just was a regular
What do
guy
you
for them, and
mean?
Man,
completely,
Jordan didn't spend any time with none of
emasculating
this.
an 18-year-old that's your number one draft pick and
Yeah,
cussing at him all
man.
practice. That's not good player development. Color me shocked. All right.
Punching Kerr in the eye, and he still loves him. Because he's like, without these rings, I would have never got this opportunity to show how smart I am. Yeah, but that's the advantage that Steph has is Steve Kerr. What I'm worried about is Monty Williams, man. Now we know we have two types of coaches in the NBA. Is Monty Williams a Doc Rivers coach who won all of these trophies and things that he won for being coach of the year and had these great records in the past because he's a player coach, a guy who was an ex-player like Doc that they relate to him, they love him, they look at him like old uncle, so they play hard for him? Or is he an X and O guy because he's slipping on the X and O's? Malone, a second generation coach, his dad was a great X and O guy. He's killing them. He's killing them right now. He's getting it where the Nuggets are getting plays where Jokic is in favorable positions to do what he loves to do. Look at Phoenix, man. It's like 1980s ISO ball. They just throw the ball to KD. He dribbles and pulls like a 20-foot Kobe jumper on the defender. Throw it to Booker side, the same thing. He just one-on-one, and it's no ball movement. Um, they have to run some better plays than they're running, and Aiden is soft. I don't know what they're gonna do to get over him, but yesterday Jokic just took his heart and just made him look like a complete bum. Jokic. We rarely see Jokic show emotion or like just try to handle dudes. He was handling him yesterday, and I was loving it. I was like, "Now that's I wish he played like that every game because Jokic is so fundamentally great. It comes so easy to him that a lot of time he doesn't show a lot of emotion. He doesn't just bury guys. He just, plays basketball and lets his team do it. Yesterday he was trying to bury him, and I like to see more of that. And if you remember, I took the Lakers at 25-1 for the value, but the first team that I told you earlier in the year from watching all season them play that I liked the most to get to the finals were the Nuggets. So they're living up to that billing right now, and as long as Murray's doing what he's supposed to do, and yesterday he didn't even have a good game, and the others still
I
stepped up,
know
especially.
remember my handicap yesterday?
Yeah.
If you would have shown me that scoreline, I would have bet Phoenix. So you got to give them credit. Let me give you a couple feedback on a couple of things you said. First of all, I'm pretty much over the Doc Rivers slander.
Yes, I am too.
Because
I've been over it. I've been over it.
because how much not only has the game of basketball changed, but just the world changed since he won his championship.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2009, Twitter had like 14 users, right? I mean, right? I mean, think how much the world has changed. There was no
Yeah.
Instagram when he won a title. And I feel that he gets unfairly, right? It's like you're asking your grandpa to install apps for you on your phone, right? I mean, like
Right.
everything's changed so much. And yes, he has not changed with it.
Yeah.
But this idea that he was never a good coach or that he's not even still a pretty good coach frustrates me. And for Monty Williams, I don't know.
We don't know. Is he an X and O guy or is he a
I
Doc
agree with you
Rivers
on
guy?
the offense. I agree with you on the offense. On the defense, I don't know what you do though. When you got to do like that, and I know because he's not athletic, right? It doesn't feel like he's unstoppable, but he's unstoppable.
No, he's
right?
unstoppable.
Right? I mean, when
Who
you
makes
see a guy
inside 15 feet, he misses nothing. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Left hand, right hand, fading away, two hands throwing it up. If he throws up, his touch is so special that
Yeah.
it touches the rim and it's like a baby hitting a pillow. It's just and it just goes in every time. He's an
Yeah.
unbelievable player, man. Jokic is great. So the key with this series, like you said, we don't know whether Monty is more Doc or if Monty is more Spoelstra. But what we do know is that he has the arsenal and the players that they're supposed to take this game over because they have two of the three best players in the game. So the others is now what's hurting them. And Ski made this point. He said about the bench, they weren't able to keep either one. If they could have kept Cam Johnson, they would have been good. If they could
Yeah.
have kept, of course, they would have been good if they'd have kept Mikal Bridges, or even if they could have kept Crowder. Crowder would have a lot of minutes. And what's so funny, he's over here bitching right now about how he didn't get any minutes in Milwaukee, but you was respected in that locker room in Phoenix. And for some reason, whatever rubbed you wrong with whether it was him and Monty Williams got into it, Monty must be something else off the
That
off the
so
camera because he's got
now
into it now with a
that
couple of
was money.
players.
That was money. He wanted an extension, and James Jones says
Oh, it
no.
was money.
That
Got
wasn't
you.
Monty.
Got you.
That wasn't
Okay,
Monty at
cool.
all. Now
Cool.
maybe Monty could have done better and get him to say, "Hey, you're still under contract. We're not going to have you sit out." I'm
Yeah,
a big
that's what
Monty Williams guy, though. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, right? I really like him though, and I
I
think
like him
that
too, but I like the Rockets
let's
coach
just
too.
wait. Let's just wait. They're gonna look a lot. That's a good point. They're gonna look a lot different though back in Phoenix. Okay, that's all I'm just saying.
What's up with Chris Paul?
I don't think he's gonna play.
Do they
Was
need him?
he sprained a hamstring? I was listening to Dunked On this morning. They made a good point. Usually, when you have an in-game muscle injury where you can't even finish the game, it's usually at least a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Campaign can lead him. He's going to take advantage of those shots that Chris Paul has been missing. He just has to get his confidence. But the key to them Suns have to run some plays, man. Hey, I need you, Coach
They're gonna look. They're gonna look a lot
Monty,
better,
to,
right?
to set up
Coach
some play.
Monty gonna
Stop
look.
just running plays for Aiton. All the plays that they run are for Aiton, and he's shooting freaking. You're 7 foot, dude, and you shooting the plans for you to shoot a 15-foot jumper.
And
You
you're
know,
not
like,
Jokic.
and you're not Patrick Ewing. They act like he's Patrick Ewing from the baseline, like it's money. No, it's not money. Stop
Oh
running that
man,
mess, man. Stop
I
running
think
that,
what
man.
sucks is we don't get game 3 of that series till Friday.
Yeah,
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 kind of. I mean, it's good for the Suns because they more
yeah.
time for
They can
Paul.
regroup
Paul
because
will probably
now
miss game 3, but good chance for him to maybe be back by game 4.
I'm glad you watched that game because you know I was on the right side. I was on the complete wrong side of the rant. He didn't play good at all. But as far as the Suns, they had complete control of the game all the way to the final, 8 minutes of the
Yeah.
fourth quarter, and just a crazy spurt by the Nuggets. But that's what they've been the best in the West all season.
Yep. One thing when I'm score watching though, I'm thinking, well, they always make these runs when Jokic is on the bench. I mean,
Right,
we talk about
right,
the Suns bench. Nuggets bench isn't very good either. When he goes
yeah,
out, they're not very good. Let's talk about tonight. I
yep.
can't wait to hear what you think about this game. You were dead on the last series. I was higher in the Cavaliers than you were, and you kept telling me, no, this is a bad match. Even game 5, right? I said, oh, I think the Cavaliers get this. You said, Cavaliers are the right side for everything we've been doing for our whole lives, right? Game 5, at home, better, higher seed, right? Oh, yeah, they'll send it back to New York. But you said, no, this is a bad matchup. Talk to me
Yep.
about this matchup between the Heat and the Knicks. I'm gonna while you break it down, I see Jimmy Butler is questionable. To me, that is freaking crazy. That is crazy.
He's playing. He's playing. I already got word from him that he was in shoot around looking good. They say he's milking it.
That
He's
is
doing the Jordan.
insane.
He's milking it. He's milking it. He's gonna do a little limp in the make it look like the flu game or something. Take the Heat tonight, man. The Heat are gonna cover. They might win straight up tonight. Brunson is a bigger problem being hobbled for the Knicks. Roundle's not playing tonight either. Doesn't look like he'll be back. Um, we're about to see the youth of Obi Toppin, Grimes. What's the other kid that I really like so much? Quickly, all of those guys. They've had
So
a
they
great
hate
regular
RJ
season.
Barrett. I don't.
RJ Barrett is a good player, but the thing about RJ is his confidence hurts him in situations because he's taking too many shots.
Okay.
Because he wants to be the guy, and one day he might be because he was in college and in high school. So maybe he gets his jumper more, money, and he can start taking over these games. But for right now, he's not the guy. The Knicks gonna come out with their hair on fire. They probably play really good the first quarter, but as the game goes on, Spoelstra and Miami are just going to execute and execute and execute, and they're going to end up probably winning this game. But I for sure think that they'll cover the points. Um, I know that they'll cover the points. Miami is hitting its mode right now. They come from an organization with the Godfather. Every day, Pat Riley, and he's giving the orders to Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning is walking down there giving the orders to Spoelstra. Spoelstra's passing it down to Haslam. it's kind of like they got the mob going on over there. And if you don't follow the rules, and Jimmy Boy's the star, he's the big earner right now. So Miami is about to finish the Knicks in 5 games or so. Remember, I told you that they're trying to rest some more. They're trying to get some rest and prepare for the Eastern Conference Finals because they see a window and they think that they can really make it to the finals. That Bucks series was huge for their confidence. We know what type of team they are. We know what they've been holding all year. They've just been underachieving. Now all the veterans are actually healthy, and veterans are the best thing going in the playoffs. Look how good Kyle Lowry plays in the playoffs compared to the regular season. He's a veteran, big time player. He likes to play when the lights are brightest. Jimmy Butler, same way. Jimmy Butler might score 18 points a game in the regular season, you know, but they've survived Chicago in that playing game. They got in the
40,
book series.
40-point plus performances. Jimmy
Yeah,
Butler, 0
yeah.
in the regular season, 8
0
in
in the
the
regular
playoffs.
season. I bet you if we look at Kyle Lowry numbers, it's the same thing. Lowry's going off for like 30s and 20s. He probably scored like 5 points a game in the regular season. He was all out of shape. They done gave him some of that South Beach juice. He done lost weight in like 2 weeks. Like it's just like we gonna need your heroes out. Come on in. So now Miami's hitting their stride, man. I trust their
Hey,
whole organization, man.
quietly, is this team better without Hero? And I know people hate this, but here's my idea. Now we're not balanced. Now we're going
Right,
all in on this
right,
defensive identity. Rather than
right,
being this balanced team, now we're
right.
just the baddest defensive team on the block and the
And throw it to
toughest team.
Jimmy.
Yeah, right. And we don't have the little guy that they're hunting the matchup over and over again
Yeah.
on the other side.
He is the weakness because without him, with Struce in all the time, and even with Duncan Robinson is 6'9". That's what people don't know and gives
Yeah,
effort. So, like they're a much better defensive team, definitely without Hero, man.
yeah. All right. So this is kind of interesting how we want to do the next one. Do you want me to throw the future on the screen or ball and parlay because they're kind of correlated?
Let's do the future and then I'll explain it real quick and then we'll shoot it to it real
All
fast.
right. Well, I mean, I've been having a great day and a great show until I read what this future is. Give me the bad news, 5-star. What's our future?
I'm jumping on the Lakers plus 125. Me and Ski both talked about it this morning. We both were on the
Oh,
same
I should
side of
have
that
known
kind.
he had your. I knew I should have
Yeah,
known. This
I
isn't
ran a
good.
check with him because I gave him all of the reasons why that I'm about to give to you real quickly.
He
Why I
might
think
be
the
a little
Lakers won the
biased. I'm
series.
not saying I'm not either,
He's a
but
little biased, but I don't think he's blind. Not with Golden State as much because Golden State, he loves Golden State. If the Lakers were at the
how could you
playoffs, he's a
not?
Golden State fan. He's
Could
like he
you
loves
not?
Golden State. So I don't think it's as much bias because Steph is still his favorite player. Like this is his favorite player. This is what I see with this guy, with this series. One, your Kings pushed the Lakers to the Lakers. The Kings pushed Golden State to the brink. Golden State is horrible all year on the road, and they're not good now when Curry's not in the game. Curry just logged about 30 minutes a game for 7 games. And they go from playing a Kings team who plays Olay defense. You guys don't play any defense. They just want to outscore you and gun you. To playing a team that's played the best defense in the whole NBA the second half of the season. The Lakers have had the best record the second half of the season. The Lakers others right now are better than the Golden State's others. It's not going to come down to LeBron and Curry like everyone thinking that it's going to be. It's going to come down to all the other pieces, and I think that AD goes crazy this whole series. I don't think they can do anything with him. I think that the Lakers are too physical and too big. I think anytime LeBron wants to lower his shoulder and go to the basket, he's going to be able to. Uh, the Warriors, the key is Wiggins. If Wiggins has a huge game and can match LeBron in numbers and his two-way intensity, then he could get Golden State over the hump. But you can't count on Clay anymore. Clay's just a three-point shooter. He doesn't play defense now. Can't count on Looney. Looney's just a rebounder. He can't score. You can't count on Draymond. Draymond is a Swiss Army on defense and passes, but he's not an offensive. Sometimes he clogs up the whole offense because he's not anyone you can trust. The Lakers will give him 3 pointers all night. I think the Lakers are going to win this series in 6, man. And so tonight, I believe they win money line because the Warriors are coming off of that hard series with your Kings. So I think the Lakers win. So I don't want to get behind. So that's the reason why I take the plus 125 now. Now we can get to the ball and parlay.
Ball and parlay correlated. What you got for us?
Lakers tonight plus 4.5. I know the Warriors are a great home team, but you and I both know their new stadium in Frisco is not Oracle in Oakland. It's not the same vibe. It's not the same intensity. It's not the same home court advantage that they've had.
Oh yeah, I gotta throw that up there. What am I doing here? We're not in Sacramento anymore. Where's my Oracle picture? There we go. Now I'm ready for tonight.
Now you're ready.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Center. This ain't Oracle. Oracle was in the middle of the hood. There we go.
Yeah. It was by the hill. It was a good spot. I've been to Oracle a couple times, man. Look, I definitely like the Lakers tonight plus 4.5. I actually think they win money line, but I'll be safe and take the plus 4.5. I just think they're rested. I think they come out with some extreme intensity because this is a rivalry, and I think that LeBron's guys want this really bad. And I think that we're overrating a Warriors team that's been down. I don't trust Poole. I don't trust the DiVincenzo. I don't trust Moody. I don't trust any of those guys. The Lakers have been the best team in the second half in the NBA all season long, and I think it continues. And I think Darvin Ham has something tonight for the Warriors, and Kerr, has to go and recalculate things, and he'll have those guys ready for game 2. Also, I took Anthony Davis to go over 6.5 in the first quarter. I think they get the ball to AD early. Once again, I don't think that Looney can handle LeBron and AD in the paint and Vanderbilt. Someone's going to be open for dunks. Most of the time, it's going to be AD. I think AD gets off to an early start tonight and easily goes over 6.5 for the first quarter.
All right. Let me throw that on the screen. I'm going with Mr. LeBron James to get over 9.5 rebounds tonight. If the Lakers, if you're right, you made some great points, and I'd love to argue with you, but unfortunately, I think I can still see the Warriors winning. I'll be honest, I haven't been rushing to the window. I'm more rooting for the Warriors. I don't necessarily think that they have an edge, especially at this price. But let's go with what you're talking about. If the Lakers are going to do this, they're going to have to use their size, right? You talked about Anthony Davis having a great matchup. That's got a pretty good matchup too, right? And so I'm going with him, and I'm staying away from the points. He knows what it takes to get it done, man. And you know me, I'm not a fan of the guy. He's not my favorite. I'll be happy when he retires and to someone else, right? Because I'm tired of him beating my favorite teams all the time. But he's a great player. Best IQ I've seen on court since Magic Johnson. Right? And catch that, guys who think I'm a hater, because I did pass through a generation when I go to Magic.
Right.
Okay, I'm giving him his props. But he's averaging 11.2 rebounds per game during these playoffs. And he's gone over that rebounding total in 4 of the last 6 games. You could do a double-double too. He's obviously going to get 10 points. But I went with LeBron over 9.5 rebounds. I placed that the second that they put it up, just because I think he was a monster on the glass against Memphis, and he's going to continue to do it tonight. Now, if the team needed him to pass, I'd probably be betting over 9.5 assists. But I don't think that's what they need from them tonight. They have plenty of creation there with Schrader, Russell, and Davis. They don't need LeBron to do everything in the half court, but he does need to use his size. And the last thing about this is we've seen this before, and people will say stat padding. No, it's not stat padding. If there's 3 of us waiting for a rebound, the opposing team sent 5 back to protect the three-point line because we don't crash the offensive glass anymore unless it's a strategic plan. Of course, I'm going to let the guy who's the best in transition catch the ball. If it's not right, people used to get mad on Russ on that. Well, Carmelo gives them the ball. Well, who's going to run the break?
Right.
Who would you rather have getting a defensive rebound and running your transition offense? Russell Westbrook or Carmelo Anthony? Carmelo Anthony is a great rebounder and a great shooter, but I want Russ on my fast break. I want LeBron on my fast break. I don't need Jared Vanderbilt grabbing rebounds when there's nobody to box out. So they're going to defer to him in those times when the Lakers go 5 back. And the way that the Lakers have been shooting three, I don't think that you're going to see a concerted effort for them to crash the offensive glass throughout the whole game. Now, will they attempt to do it with Looney and Draymond when they run that lineup? Yeah, they will. But I'm just saying that could be the little difference between you get 8 and 11 rebounds and the difference is probably cashing. So I got LeBron over 9.5 rebounds tonight.
Hey, man, that's a great angle that you have right there, because the strategies of basketball have changed. And a lot of people, as you said, thought that Russ was stat padding, but they were just trying to get into offense as quick as possible. They were trying to, run. And the days of, Bill Walton getting the rebound and throwing an outlet, 70 feet, that's over with, And it's not,
the only one doing
he's
that.
the only one that can still him. And guess who else can do it? LeBron. So it's a good job. It's smart to let him rebound it regardless, because he's an accurate passer on doing the outlet passes, and he also can push the break. He has speed to push the break. And it just like you say, you got to tip your hat to LeBron. And I love that over 9.5, because he's bought into what Ham wants him to do. Is we all thought that as he aged, he would be more of a power forward type of guy, and that's what he's really became for this team. And you got to give him kudos for that. He's really understanding his role, and he's doing it to the max. And it's all due to the fact that, going back to my point, that AD now is becoming the guy that they always thought that he would be. And if he can stay that guy, he's hard to stop, man, because AD's one of the top 5 dudes in the whole league, because he affects the game
it's like
in so
that
many
little
ways.
time that LeBron sat ended up being the best thing that could happen to that team, because AD had to carry the team for 10 games or whatever it was.
No, the best thing that happened was that trade.
Oh, yeah, right. But I'm just saying, at the time, we're all saying, oh, they're screwed, LeBron's out. But it ended up being a blessing in disguise, because AD had to step up. And then LeBron, they took that momentum when he came back and said, hey, we're going to keep feeding you. I'm not taking over. So I hate all this Lakers praise, but they deserve it. And it's going to be a great series tonight. Last night I watched on tape. Tonight I got to see this thing live. I'll be sweating, cussing, throwing things around. But hopefully LeBron gets those rebounds.
Yeah, man. So it's all Lakers tonight, man. We got to bounce back. We had 2 really bad beats last night on everything, with the Suns really laying it down late, and with Brown getting off such a strong start and then get stuck at 24. But it's okay. We turned the page and we're on today. I had a great morning, man, on tennis. I hit with a Cornick over your boy David Fakina. And this guy, David Fakina, he has a Red Bull or some type of energy drinks, and he has it sitting by his towel. And every time after he serves or plays a point, he's coming and taking a sip. And I'm like, this has to be some home court advantage in Spain, because what the hell is going on? I've never seen that before in my life. So I hit that one, and I also hit Karatsev. He beat Karatsev. He beat Medvedev.
In my chat, they were talking about how frustrating Karatsev is.
Yeah,
because he just sucks.
He was throwing matches. He was throwing matches
and then
at first.
He'll go and he'll just beast for like 2 or 3 weeks, and you can
2 or 3 weeks.
There's nothing.
He might win this tournament.
There's nothing predictive about it. Like, it just happens out of nowhere.
Well, Medvedev, he's like, don't get my socks dirty. He hates the clay, so he doesn't care. If he starts losing on clay, he's like, I'm out of here. So we got on the bottom.
Like the court either.
Yeah, at all. Yeah, and that's high elevation too. All right, so we got the Lakers plus 4.5 tonight on my side, as well, with Anthony Davis for the first quarter over 6.5 points, and then my guy Spread is going with his much hated foe, LeBron James, over 9.5 rebounds. So we all Lakers tonight. Surprisingly, I expect a really good game tonight, man. Anything for the people before we get out of this Spread?
No, hey, it was so, last night driving home from work, usually I could see the beam on my way home.
Oh, man.
Dark night in Sacramento.
Oh, man. Well, guess what, man? You're not the only Sacramento King fan anymore, man. So you guys have some big things rolling in. Hey, man, you guys tuned into the Wager World. We'll be back tomorrow. Best of luck to you all tonight.